we need to remember the 3 stages of non-legato. First, we breathe in, relax our wrist, breathe out, use the weight of the whole arm, and breathe in again, completely relaxing the hand. While we are relaxed, we move our hand over to different octave, and we are breathing in. Breathe out. Breathe in, move, breathe out. So I would definitely start with that super slow tempo to go over each stage, each step. Another thing that you can do, if for example, their fingers don't sound together, or you don't feel like they apply the same weight to their fingers, you can start with interval fifths. The same way. Usually the fifth finger is the weakest. Some kids like to put it on the side, so I would do interval third, and only then full chord. To feel that the body really helps them to play chords, I ask them to play them standing up, and I'll demonstrate. When they stand up, and if they are small, put them on pedal extenders so they are approximately on that height, and lean with the whole body and relax the hands, and again lean and push yourself back. They need to understand which part of the hand executes that weight transfer, and usually it's the ball of the hand. A lot of kids don't understand that. So what I ask them to do when they sit, I ask them to push, or imagine they're pushing the piano away. When they do that, their elbows start breathing, the arms. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out, push the piano away. Breathe in. And then when they start playing a chord, I ask them to feel like they have an air pillow right here. And then relax. But they need to start with fingers on the keys, relaxing the wrist, and then pushing in, feeling like they're pushing the piano away from here, and then completely relaxing. And it has to come from the knuckle. If she plays like that, the weight goes down there. It doesn't go into the key. So even with very long fingers, I would suggest to put them close to the black keys. Pull your hand close on them. Ask them to play, and then even put extra weight on that so she can support that weight. And if her finger goes like that, she'll need to learn how to fight with that and resist that extra weight and still hold it. And the same with the chord. If she, for example, goes like that, it means her weight goes here. So I would put my fist here, my arm weight, and ask her to bring me up.
Okay.
Sometimes I compare with the lion paws. They are big and heavy, but they don't, when they step, when lion steps on the ground, it kind of slow touch, unless they run, of course. But let's imagine lion walking. And it goes slowly, it kind of and lifts to make a next step. And listen to the sound. Ask them not to make that harsh sound. Ask them to always make beautiful. No matter how loud we play, it always has to sound beautiful.
How to avoid stretching hand while playing broken octaves?
Stretching is inevitable. You can't play octave without stretching. Broken octave, I would start with solid octave. For example, there is a big passage like that. We need to make sure when we play octave, we relax after. And then we can do one octave at a time. And then backward. That way we can actually check not only down-up motion of the wrist, but also side motion of the wrist. And then we can try groups. And relax.